My name is Christian Basel. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend.
Wow, that was a flash.
There we go. Oh, I'm hosting. It's just, okay, I'll start off.
Am I hosting? Who's hosting? You know?
I'm about to start launching into it because I'm like, Christian, we just said that I'd do it.
No, it's
Hello, everybody. Welcome to fellow Whoians. This is Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Yeah, just slide me over here since I start talking. Welcome. As you can see, I am not your host, Christian Basel. That actually is your host, Christian Basel, but he's a little kind of punch drunk after Pensacon with these two amazing gents below me. So while they were off gallivanting in Pensacon, they're back. They're rested, maybe, kind of.
No,
and
not
they're
rested.
Here to not rested. Not rested. Okay, so but they're here to start talking about, to start the decompression and to kind of tell us a little bit about what Pensacon was like, how the 10th anniversary of this amazing show was or convention was, and all the other fun little juicy tidbits we all want to know about. And because it is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, of course, we have photos. So there's a lot photos, and there are probably going to be even more as we go through, talk some stories, and probably on the slide you'll see people kind of like doing this on their phone, and you'll see, I have a feeling that maybe these two will start sending photos to Christian over there, like, put this one up, here you go, quick, load this one in. So we shall see. So
there it is. Dang.
Wow, there's a picture. Awesome.
So here's a photo. Look.
Here's the photo.
So here is the exhibitor badge. Again, once again, it was their 10-year anniversary of Pensacon, which is in Pensacola, Florida. If you're not sure of the geography of the state of Florida, there is a panhandle that we have, and all the way as far west as you possibly can go. We are basically in Alabama.
That's you go the other side of town. It is Alabama, actually.
It's right. There's the border. So it's kind of in Florida.
You hear banjo music. It's cool.
It's Deliverance.
It's Alabama. Pretty much. But it's an amazing, amazing place, so I hear. And even though it's a tiny-ish convention because of its footprint, where they have to borrow a lot of spaces and different venues to put on this amazing show, it packs a wall up when it comes to all the content and all the guests and all the amazingness that happens. One of the biggest things, which on our, if you can you can't see it behind me, but there was how many Doctor Who people there?
Approximately 14. 14 celebrities.
And I mean, some of the
one of them
bigger
canceled though.
No, we still, well, it depends upon your count, because they did, I think it was 5 doctors, including Davison, McCoy, Colin Baker, McGann, and Christopher Eccleston. Then you had all the companions, and then you had 2 of the artists. So they were included in there. Plus, I think Nick Frost canceled too. He was supposed to be one of those 14 there. Hey, how you doing? Welcome there. And we want to also welcome our new folks from Pensacon.
You're never going to live that.
Hidden joke, hidden message. Sorry, folks, but yeah, they're going to get me back with Mark Fubar. I'm actually going to do so. We're going to have a character somewhere along the way of the Traveling TARDIS where it's Mark Fubar. Hey, Dan, and we want to welcome everybody to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Thank you so much for joining us. We're doing our, hey, Barbara, thank you for joining us. We're doing our post-convention of Pensacon. This is the 10th year of Pensacon in existence, and it's the first year the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS went out there. We had overall a blast. We had a blast. Now, of course, of every convention, as I mentioned, there always are challenges. and coming out there. And I want to show you one of them. I'll start this off with this picture, Melanie, because this was our booth. But you could also see how badly the wind was going with that way that thing was angled.
Oh, a sail.
That's
the fun of having shows outside.
That thing almost fell on people a couple times.
No.
Yeah, it was just and the gentleman I know, Dan. I want to get their names right. It's Arthur, and who else was it, Dan?
Arthur and Alex.
Arthur and Alex.
And
I'm going to give the biggest shout out for the both of them, and also Denise, our friend. Without them, I would not attribute this to a success. They took care of the booth. They took care of getting us people to sign up, subscribe, as you can see on the table, our little scan codes. And Dan bringing the Daleks out here, really a change of pace, and it was really entertaining for people out there. Now, I didn't show you where we were looking at, but we were really at the front entrance with a bunch of other tents. People could see us coming as they were coming in. So it was a really nice little spot. Plus, we had the bathrooms over to the right and all the food trucks behind us. So we're like, hey, if we're hungry, if we need to go, we had a good spot. But thank you, Arthur and Alex. You can see them sitting in the background. They were very helpful. They helped push the show when we couldn't, when we had to go out. And James did his own thing where he was interviewing folks for Geek to Me Radio. Mike was out there doing panels. Mark Muncie, you're supposed to be here.
You might be on the road traveling.
No, I'm giving a hard time too, but that was just what our booth looked like, and just get some little heads up there. There they are, still talking. Poor James. Do you recognize that poster on the table?
It's been a while since I've seen it, about a week. But yes, I do recall that poster. Yes.
Melanie, James left me a souvenir before he flew home, and it's that poster right there for it.
Never leave a convention without forgetting something. It's just a curse.
Absolutely. Just the only good thing is hopefully a friend's picked it up, and then you just got to track down who it has and pray that they know how to ship well.
And here's a picture of the poster when the wind's not blowing so badly. But yeah, there were things just flying off the table at times. So there was where we were at, and overall, we had a great time. I don't want to say I was underestimating Pensacon, but it brought us a whole new audience, which I'm seeing that there's some chats coming in, and a lot of people had a great time with with the panels that we had. And just to show you one of our panels, the very first panel that we had on the day of.
Hey, I know that guy.
I know that guy too, and I know that guy with the eyeball sticking out there.
A lot of these people are very familiar, and there's Mary on the bottom left from ESO Network.
Exactly. Yep.
But a lot of the folks over there in the back are new subscribers, new followers, and friends, and just people who were at the panel at the time. What was our first panel? I know we had an issue. That was a weird part about it.
Doctor Who can make you a Whovian was our
How
first.
to make you a Whovian. We were still like tone deaf from the ride over on the trolley. So
where was the first panel? Was it on site, or you had to go somewhere else?
We had to go somewhere else.
So how much? What was the? Tell me a little bit of the scope of how far away you had to get there, and did you give yourself enough time?
It would have been quicker if we would have walked.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
I think, and I'm not exaggerating.
Literally was a quarter of a mile at the most.
Okay.
And I'm not exaggerating. I think there were like 15, 20 stops when we took the trolley. And we were like one of the last stops. And lo and behold, the first panel, guess who showed up first? It was James.
Thank God.
We didn't even know who the panel was.
We actually walked past the room, and actually first it's like, wait a minute. And you were like, hey, that's James back there. It's like, whoops. We all did U-turns running back to the room.
So I had to
like
vamp.
10 minutes late for it. Yep.
I had to vamp, and it was the consensus of the room, though, that Chris Chibnall is not their favorite writer. So Central Florida, not, Pensacola, all agreed with me.
Well, you also started going into who was your least favorite companion. So.
Yes, Jenna Coleman. Was that loud? Sorry.
Which was actually the next day panel. So he was already doing the second day panel for the first day panel.
I panicked, I tell you.
Oh,
well, you went with good topics that people have strong opinions on, and that they're going to chit chat about. So I mean, whether or not that they come off with a little vitriol, it's okay. Passion's good in a conversation, kind of.
Melanie, the fun it is. I haven't been to Dragon Con, but this I think will give me a starter kit on what.
It's nothing compared to Dragon Con.
It's nothing compared, even with the trolley and stuff.
Okay. No.
Well,
you don't have that You don't have a trolley like that. No.
Well, let me say this, and I'm saying this might be loosely. MegaCon has spoiled me when it comes to even though
it's in one building.
Yes, we're all in the same building.
But wait, it's growing, so Lord knows someday it might move to two.
Don't give them.
Well, the thing is, like,
in all truth, the thing with street.
In all truth, though, the Dragon Con is 5 hotels and a convention center, 2 buildings of a convention center, but they're all walkable and they're connected by like what they call them habit trails, like the skywalks and everything. So it's simple to get around. This at Pensacon, and I loved it. I had a great time at Pensacon. They were spread all across downtown Pensacola, and so that's why you had the trolley there. And because some of the big panels were like with the celebrities and such were at a theater downtown. The other one was in this church building. That's where we had our panels and such. But they also had other big panels down on the main floor, which is the chapel. And it was awesome when John Barrowman realized that he was flaunting himself in a church, and it was like he started cracking up.
Should we show the pictures of the flaunting?
Oh yes.
Okay, here we go. Here, for those of you who keep track of John on Instagram, you're probably wondering what he was making, and he was hinting that he was going to do at Pensacon. Well, that's what was being made.
It's a big
but that was his outerwear.
That was his outerwear.
Yes.
There's the innerwear. Bigger.
And that's all rhinestones and jewels and stuff.
Wow.
So he does sparkle.
Amelia Johnson is absolutely correct. It sparkles.
It sparkles.
He did sparkle. And he was so flaunting it, and he was like flaunting the boots that he was wearing. It was so cute. And everything.
I got to see the Paul McGann panel with.
We were there for that too.
You were there with him. Yeah, we got to see the Paul McGann, Daphne Ashbrook, Eric Roberts panel, and got to join in and talk. And then I told Mike, "Give me a second. I'm going to go up there for a moment." He goes, "What are you going to say?" And I went up to the microphone, and Daphne was talking. I wouldn't say a little bit bad on bad side of Grace Holloway, because the good doctor, they still don't know who she belongs to as far as what property she is. And now that everybody's buying everybody out, we still don't know. But I told Daphne right on the microphone and said, "Say, everybody, listen. Bad Wolf was bought by Sony. Disney is distributing Doctor Who. I will now confess here on this stage, Dr. Grace Holloway is a Disney princess." And that just lit her up. And she was like,
her face grinned from ear to ear.
Exactly.
It was awesome.
She's looking at Paul and Eric in a different light now. It's just like, it was just awesome out there.
Did anybody else ask any questions during panels? Because it seems like you guys were able to go to panels and enjoy them as well as just, not having to stay at your booth the entire time.
That was actually by mistake. I wouldn't say by mistake, but it was by convenience, because we were like, I was about to head back to go check in on the guys. But
it was right after your Doctor Who panel.
It was after our Doctor Who panel.
So it was on the way.
Yeah, we just simply went downstairs and said, we'll check it out. And I felt bad because Daniel was trying to get into the building. And I'm sorry, what happened on the way, Daniel? You were trying to get Dalek Al into the building.
There apparently weren't double doors at the front entrance, and nobody knew where double doors were.
Church of all places.
Yes. And you kept on saying at the panel, "There's a special guest star outside," and everyone was hoping it was one of the doctors, but but it was almost just as close, which is cool.
That's fine.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Was it the only building that you were trying to get into and you couldn't make it, or were you able to do anything else with Hal or?
No, we got over there, and by the time we actually got over there, because of the rough sidewalks, then we looked at the doors and we're like, yeah, Hal's not getting through there. So we asked the people out front, does anybody know where some double doors are at? And everybody's like, nope, I don't know. And then my brother no, I don't think my brother was there. It was just Alex. Ended up walking around the building, eventually found some doors, but at that point the panel was pretty much over. And like, well, I've already got photo shoots after this, so I just want to head back.
Yeah.
Did you have to walk? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Did you have to walk the Dalek over there? Were you able to get it on the trolley? You walked? Oh my gosh!
It wasn't that far because after our panels and
No,
everything,
it
and
was
after
It is that far when you're driving a Dalek around.
well,
I mean,
yes,
on the
that's true. If you're
sidewalk.
just walking, no. But yeah, if you're driving a Dalek, no. And
Was that the only place that you needed to move the Dalek to, or were you able just to get the Dalek more or less in and out of the arena?
Oh, in and out of the arena wasn't a problem. The staff there were extremely sweet. If there was too much of a crowd getting in and out, then they'd stop the crowd and let us through. The only kind of difficulty was trying to get to the photo ops. They had to take me through the kitchen tunnels, which I found it was kind of amusing that they were giving Hal the celebrity treatment of taking the back pass.
A very Goodfellas thing of going through the kitchen to get to your table.
So they ended up bringing me back that way. But the only thing is they had to have somebody that had the golden badge. And apparently only 12 of the staff had that. So we kind of had to make sure somebody was available in order for me to get back there in time.
Oh. And that was for because I assume that's what you wanted to do with all your photo ops is you wanted
I wanted it with Hal. I'm going to be getting photos of myself. I want photos of my Dalek with the Doctor Who cast.
Oh,
wow.
That's awesome.
So did a lot of the doctors do selfie kind of shots at their tables too, in conjunction with the traditional kind of professional
all
photo?
All of them offered selfies as well, yeah.
So I know at bigger conventions, sometimes that happens, and sometimes they're like, "Look, it's just too many people. We can't do that."
But I love Peter was dressed in his full Doctor Who, costume, which was awesome.
And I love the one you got, Dan, of Sylvester McCoy with the Dalek. Sylvester McCoy mugs for the camera better than anyone I've ever seen. He always has the greatest expressions.
All right, I am going to have to go, though, because my lunch break is about over. But
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for coming on, Dan. Appreciate it. Thank you for everything you did at Pensacon. That was awesome. Dan definitely stole the show. Hey, Sophie.
They were the MVP, I think.
Did you want to go to commercial break when we return?
Sure.
You got it. I'll do that part.
Okay.
Hang on. We're going to go commercial break. When we return, more discussion with Pensacon with our lovely host, the lovely Melanie Dean. Well, she grills us more about Pensacon. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tune in, become part of the legend.
I'm nervous.
About what?
Her grilling, of course.
Grilling.
Always grill.
Oh, brilliant! It's hard to believe that in the 56-year history of the greatest sci-fi television show in the English language, there has never been a fan guide to Doctor Who. The official books might give you what they think you need to know, but only a guide written by a true fan will give you what you really want to know. Join Whovian, the brilliant Mackenzie Flaw, as she takes you on an intensive journey inside the world of the first female Doctor. In the Binge Watcher's Guide to Doctor Who, Season 11. Right, let's get a shift on.
Meet the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
But not the one you were expecting.
All right, sexy. It's time to go home.
Doctor Who Velocity. Streaming now.
And welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basel. Today's special guest host is the lovely Melanie Dean. Back with Mike Fubar
No, Mark Fubar.
Mark
Come on,
Fubar.
Mark
get it right.
Fubar.
Mike Faber
That's
from
what you were
University
calling me
of
the other
Louisville,
day.
and
So
yes, I did, because I was still punch drunk. Love it's Mark Fuber. And the lovely James Engstall. And I gotta confess, James and I are kind of brothers now. Because I stayed with James over there. We were having a great time when we after the show, when we would go out and just hang out and have dinner, and we would just hang out at the hotel and stuff and just relax, and just like all but Eccleston.
I will say this: Pensacola has some amazing restaurants.
Yes.
And everything, and because we were staying over on Pensacola Beach, but we also went to a couple of the places in downtown Pensacola in the Old Town section, and it was awesome. There was just some amazing stuff, and there was just so much energy with the people down there and everything, and it was a really great place to visit.
Now, did downtown Pensacola, did it seem like they're used to this as a yearly thing where you're going to see the crowds of cosplayers that they do they get into it themselves at the restaurants to kind of theme it up a little bit, or
there was one bar down there that wasn't that far from where the panels were taking place that actually put wooden doors on it to make it look like a castle, and everyone inside was dressed like hobbits or wizards or stuff. From Middle Earth.
Didn't certain restaurants say they were themed?
Yeah,
one had a Harry
Potter restaurant. There were restaurants that were theming their restaurants to whatever geekdom. There was no Doctor Who restaurant.
Oh,
well, so even the airport is branded.
I think Shirley would be coming down from the Pandorica to yell at them if they did that.
Probably should have out there.
The more the merrier. Well, at least not call it Pandorica. At least
we drove by McGuire's a few times, and it was always packed, so we didn't get to go to McGuire's. But it was awesome. It was a ton
Was that from a panel? Were you teaching something or what?
That was from a panel.
That was our last panel of the week.
That was
you had a whiteboard?
Yes, we did.
We should have made more use of it. As you were talking, I turned around and put up our Twitter and Instagram handles up there. It's like we should have done this from the beginning.
We had the access. We never used them. This was our Big Finish panel, and I don't think. Did you get the third? Did you all go to McGuire's?
Yeah, that's the one I was saying.
You went to McGuire's.
Mark Fubar, which I had mentioned.
This is the first panel of the convention. This is the one that James started, and we ended up finishing, and all the team came out here. And I think this, if I'm not mistaken, that was our second panel. I forgot to get a picture of the third panel. I feel bad. Do you have the picture of the third?
I can send it to you.
Yeah, please. There, and met some lovely people along the way, Melanie. This is one of my favorite New Whovians. Her name is Olivia.
Aww.
And the reason why I love Olivia is because she came up to me, said hi, but she didn't say a word. Mm-hmm. She signed, her mother was there, and she signed her name she signed her name to me. So I had to spell out her name while she signed it to me. And I was like, Olivia, okay. I had to sit there, apologize, and go like, sorry, I'm rusty at my... But she was just gorgeous. And I love the little unicorn hat and everything. So definitely had to become part of the legend over here. And now I didn't get a chance to really, really talk to these two, but I love this picture as well.
That's a great picture.
That is an awesome picture.
Mm-hmm.
Dad and son with the traveling TARDIS. I love it. I like his.
Awesome. I like the little button of Colin Baker right there, so that he's got basically the doctor on his hand and on his arm, and then he's got the same doctor right there on his little lapel.
So a lot of TARDIS kids showed up.
It's dedication.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's cute.
So keep going. I want to know all about what was some of the best cosplays you saw. What were some of the most amazing cosplays? I'm seeing a lot of families cosplaying.
There were a ton of families there, which was really awesome.
I don't. Those three were. I had pictures of it, but we had the group of No Sir All 13s, and there were quite.
She looks great.
She looks awesome. I think all the 13s look awesome.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Just having a great time, and I felt bad. I'm not calling out any names or anything. There was a girl who was cosplaying 13, and it was the first time ever I asked her, I said, "Can I get your picture?" She goes, "No," and walked. I was like, "Wow!" And she actually came back to the tent, and that was the second time I've seen her. And I asked her, "Can I get your picture now?" no, and I think she's camera shy, but I thought that was
Maybe.
I'm not insulting. It's just really odd that somebody who's cosplaying would be camera shy. I said, well, isn't that what you want? But maybe that's what they wanted to geek out and stuff.
Which
But
was good that you asked, and that she said no.
She said no. I was like, okay, but I was like, well, sorry,
there you go.
Can't put you in an album if I don't have pictures of it. And one of the great stories that I have out there, there was a room. The way that they had it went into a room and then it went down a hallway. But in the room is all the Whovians, every single one of them. It was Colin, it was Sylvester, it was Peter, it was all of them were together, except for one person who, it's that little Sesame Street game. What this is not like the other, and it was Jerry Mathers.
Oh, it was awesome.
And
see the beaver there?
Yeah, and I was talking to Denise. We were walking up and to see Jerry Mathers together. So I'm going to go get a picture of him. And I don't think Denise understood why I was taking a picture of the beaver. And I said, "You're not going to believe this." And I actually, as I was approaching, I actually told Jerry about the story about his on-screen brother, Tony Dow. And I told him, I said, I think it may be what they call it, not an irony, but I think there's a reason why you're sitting here. And I think it's because you're in Tony's seat, because he was a part of the WHOniverse for a very short time for the TV movie. And I was pointing, here's Paul McGann right here. And here's Eric Roberts. They were all in that movie that Tony Dow did the special effects in. So I asked him if I could, in honor of Tony, can I get your picture? Oh. So that is the beaver with... That is Jerry Mathers with the Traveling TARDIS.
He hasn't changed a bit in 50 years. Yeah, that's awesome.
No, he
hasn't. That was the first photo you had posted, I believe, on the
and it was the first, not only the first picture I posted, but I put a whole explanation as to why I took this picture. And I feel bad because it's also on the Traveling TARDIS, and everybody thinks he's Bob Newhart, which I would love to get Bob Newhart.
He looks very similar.
I could see that.
Yeah.
And when I mean a lot, I mean like my phone was going off like, why did you get a picture of Bob Newhart? I'm like, why wouldn't I get a picture of Bob Newhart if it was Bob Newhart?
If it was Bob Newhart, why not? But still, no, it's Jerry Mathers.
Jerry Mathers. So I told him, I said, you actually kind of in Tony's presence, you belong here with the Whovians. And he was kind of like, oh, that's pretty cool. And he didn't know about Doctor Who that much, but I was happy to get his picture with him with the TARDIS out there. And I said, you belong here. The beaver belongs here out there.
So what was the area where like all the celebrities kind of were? So walk me through when you go into the arena, or at least when you get to Pensacon. So you guys are all outside with the food trucks, and you're there to basically be the first thing to greet everybody. Walk me through what it's like, after you see you guys. What's the layout inside the arena?
Chaotic.
It is.
Chaos.
It's interesting because the arena is basically a hockey arena.
Yeah.
And up on the concourse where you walk around on the outside, on the top, it is Artist Alley is all up there.
Oh, okay.
And then they have a walkway that goes down to where all the celebrities were. But then if you go down to where the ice rink actually is, that is where all the vendors are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they have them set up into rows, and it was pretty amazing. And it wasn't huge. It was, as far as like a larger con goes, it had a very small vendor area, but they're limited because of what they had there. And so it was interesting to see. But there's enough that you could spend a good hour and lose a lot of money. So
they've outgrown that space for sure, because as big as the convention has gotten, they really need a larger space for all the stuff they've gotten. Especially they were talking about wanting to make it even bigger next year, which space wise might be quite the feat.
Exactly. And they don't have any like convention centers or facilities in Pensacola to do it. They've been talking for years about building something, but they don't, and they haven't yet, even though this convention brings in so much money for the city. And there's others like it. But they just they don't have it, and so they have to do with what they want. And the line when they first opened on Friday, because what they did, the VIPs got in on the ground level and they went right into the vendor area.
Mm-hmm.
But for the general public, which they opened an hour later, they had them go up the ramps and come through the artist alley section and then zigzag through the seats to come down. And the line was wrapped all the way around the full arena and then down the ramp on the outside for people to get in.
In fact, to line up for certain venues or to see somebody, those rows of seat would become the line. Like people would sit down, and that was your spot in line.
Yeah,
and then
how did they work ADA then? If it's that many
ADA,
steps?
well,
they have
ADA. They brought you down through the ground level.
Okay.
But and there were elevators to take you up to the upper, but there was only one elevator, and they were having some. We had friends of ours who were ADA. They needed to have, access to it. And truthfully, they are kind of lacking with it. And I'm not trying to badmouth the con because I really like the con, but that's something they need to work on.
It seems like it's an issue with the venue.
Right.
More so than anything.
If they have a van that was wheelchair accessible that would take you from, that you could call and they would come pick you up and take you to the different venues around town. But there was only one van for that too.
For that many thousands of people?
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
Yep.
Well, we don't have a dog alert one. We only have a cat alert.
Oh, sorry.
No. Okay, well, I guess honorary cat alert.
Okay. I'm pulling up more pictures, but I didn't get a chance to tell my.
I just sent you a couple more.
Oh, you did?
It almost seems like where, like, at least with the parking lot, that they're trying to do something with what they call Poseidon's Bay, and that they're trying to make it at least some more space to do more things. Especially, it seems like with food trucks there to at least help with people wanting to eat, to use the restrooms. More content. With you guys. But I wonder if, and because it's maybe be cost prohibitive, is you do one of those, set up one of the nicer big kind of tents that you can do. Because I remember, and again, I'm talking Disney money. Eons ago, Disney used to do like different types of weekends, like an ABC weekend, and they used to do ESPN the weekend and Star Wars weekends, blah, 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 blah. And their big thing to have more convention space at Disney's Hollywood Studios, because it really doesn't have that space, not like an Epcot or Magic Kingdom. In their parking lot, they would erect it was basically like a big portable, but it was a big tent, and it was gigantic. It was clearly temporary.
But they don't have that's the problem. They don't have the room there to do that.
Oh, goodness.
Because where they had the parking lot where like Christian was set up in front of the Bay Center, and it was awesome because I had all the food trucks. They had the music playing there. They had First Aid was there, the blood drive, everything was all there. And and I could see them even tightening it up and even adding more tents in that section.
Which I was going to say, I think that's what they need to do. They just get like huge amounts of wedding tents, connecting them up and just making it one big covered surface, and then they could get more vendors and space. And unfortunately, people did dehydrate. The ambulance.
Yeah, it was in the mid to upper 80s there for one or two of the days. So it was pretty hot. So it was very easy to get dehydrated.
Oh no! Yeah, because I almost thought like if they added more tents and they add that kind of thing, have that
panel.
Outdoor
that's
art
my
festival.
panel.
Is that your
panel?
That's your panel. Okay.
Yeah, I sent you a text in the group chat, Christian, about the third panel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought
that
was the third panel. Sorry.
That's the Earth Station Who panel, and we had a standing room only also, which was pretty awesome. And I will say this: we had for our Earth Station Who panel, it was almost bigger amount of more people than we get at Dragon Con. So, so
it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, and it's awesome. But the one thing I will say with Pensacon is more of an autograph and picture con than it is a panel con. The panels are new to the con and everything.
Oh, okay.
So it's a new feature that within the last 2-3 years. So they just need to build it more and everything, and they're going to.
And that's probably why they would, given the space that they had to allocate, they're probably in a, well, we really don't have a panel room. Let's see what do our people want, especially if after 10 years and it's growing and growing and growing in a certain way. And like you're saying, more celebrities, autographs, photos, rather than panel content and learning-y kind of things, which you get more from that full convention kind of space.
Yep.
So is there any, I don't want to say downsides, but what would, if you constructive criticism wise, that, that they could fix for next year within the bounds that they have to work, what would you suggest?
The only issue I had was and again, they can't help it. It's what they've got to work with is the layout of the Bay Center, because when you're trying to find somebody, it's like, okay, you go up the elevator to the second floor, through a door, down the stairs, right at the hall, into that room, and then hang a left to get to the first, rather than just, they're row A, section B, go.
Exactly.
So they can't help that. That's the room they got to work with. And to be honest, they made great use of the space. But that's my only problem, is that if someone asked me to describe it, I'd say labyrinthine.
Okay, so to rephrase my question would be, if you're telling somebody that's going to be going, if you're giving advice to somebody that's going next year for the first time, you would prepare them with them saying it's a little bit, a little bit like a labyrinth.
Bring patience because of the transportation to get around to the different venues.
Totally be hydrated. Be prepared that you might be in line out in the heat. I don't know how they might change it for next year. But just be this in the same way that we tell people how to prepare for like conventions like MegaCon. But in this particular case, you might be more prone to the heat because people are waiting hours on Friday just to get in.
Yeah,
and they were sold out on Saturday.
And they were sold out on Saturday. And I think they were waiting. I'm not kidding when I say hours. I mean, Mike, I'm not exaggerating. Like 4 or 5 hours. I'm not exaggerating on this. And
they were dressed in full costumes and everything like that.
To get in, or for waiting for
for the con to get, because the con on Friday, the con doesn't open to the general public till 1 p.m.
They started selling tickets at 8 a.m., but they didn't open the doors until 1 p.m.
Yeah,
so you could wait in line.
Exactly.
Oh, I would imagine that was we'll sell tickets at 8 o'clock, but then go walk around downtown.
Go have breakfast somewhere.
Have breakfast somewhere.
Right.
Exactly. And there's some amazing shops down there and stuff like that.
But that because it's such a condensed space, it's hard for people to move around. I'm assuming there's got to be some kind of capacity in there at one point.
Well, the fire marshal, of course.
Yeah.
And everything.
I just wanted to bring back Ramona's comment because I found Risse's picture right there.
Yes.
There's
she
Risse.
Looked amazing.
She did look amazing.
That's a great cosplay.
Yes.
Yep. There's the Risse cosplay. So there you go, Ramona. Screenshot. There you go.
It was awesome because a couple people at first thought, "Oh, she's dressed as River Song." I said, "No, she's the 8th Doctor. It's obvious." Yeah, and everything. So it's pretty awesome because she asked the question. She asked the final question actually at the Paul McGann panel. So it was pretty awesome.
How long were the panels? With the
45 minutes.
45
okay.
Yeah. Could have gone longer too.
Oh, Berriman could have gone at least 3 hours, So that's normal.
That's Berriman though.
Yeah.
Now, did they was it like a classic kind of moderated panel where you had there was a moderator up there and they took questions and stuff like
depends
that?
On who
Berriman aside, because he just gets the mic and you're done.
Yes. But yeah, it was. But they really focused on the people in the audiences asking the questions.
Oh, good.
Which was awesome. And I love that it was very fan focused, and kudos to Pensacon for doing that.
How big were the panel rooms?
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, we got a commercial break,
okay,
but I'm going to leave a little thing for everybody to hold over. We're going to explain what Colin Baker, a Dalek, and this cup have in common. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tuned in. Yep. Think about it when we return. Please continue to stay logged on, tune in, and become part of the legend. We'll be right back.
You have more options. You have more options, and you have more options in it.
Oh my God! Really?
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
Let's see if this works.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night, and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live, and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room, we played from the bathroom, thankfully that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night, we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you, the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
Hi, my name is Jamie Engel, critically acclaimed author of The Toilet Papers, Places to Go While You Go, a short story collection suited to match your bathroom needs. Only have to go a little? No problem. I've got stories under 1,000 words for you. Far from poopin'? I've got you covered. With stories over 5,000 words to keep you occupied, while your latrine stays occupied. And that's not all. The Toilet Papers is endorsed by the fine folks from Squatty Potty, the stool for better stools. But don't take my word for it. See what Dookie the Squatty Potty unicorn has to say on YouTube. You won't be disappointed. Well, I've got to go.
Are you guys on?
But you can grab your copy of The Toilet Papers on Amazon in ebook or print, or get an autographed copy from me at therightangle.com. And don't worry, I promise I'll wash my hands first. The Toilet Papers. You might just stay in the bathroom longer than you need to.
Okay, StreamYard. StreamYard, hang on one second. Hang on one second on this. StreamYard, fix it. Whatever is going on with this. In fact, if you notice too, the microphones didn't even mute when that commercial went on. I was like, geez, I had to mute them for them. So that was just StreamYard, fix it. Just fix it. No, I just it's.
You didn't take the hammer to it and just went bam, bam, bam.
I'm about to. Every time I push a button, it will just like delay, and then all of a sudden it will play like a millisecond of the commercial, and then stop.
You could always just go back to Skype. It's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Oh my lord! Oh my lord! Those days.
I
don't want to.
I wake up screaming about those nights now.
We're back. Jeez. Oh my goodness. So I have a coffee story for you, Melanie. You ready for this?
Yes,
one?
I would like to know about the coffee story. Also,
beware concrete washer hooves. Yeah.
Always.
Oh, trust me. Yeah. Well, we were outdoors, so I was just getting hot.
There was not a mask in sight at this.
No masks.
Oh, no masks at all.
It's
I saw a couple people with them, but
handle.
Very few and far between.
Yeah, it's one of those you pick. You wear it or you don't, and it I mean, at some point it was just so tight in there, just like God, whatever.
I'll be wearing one at MegaCon.
Yep. So Melanie,
yes,
the last morning of Pensacon, I get this message on Twitter.
You get notified.
It's Colin Baker. I am currently at Pensacon having a wonderful time, except I don't have a large Starbucks hot caramel macchiato in front of me, or me a free autograph for the first one who arrives and maybe the second.
So who ran to Starbucks as fast as they could?
Arthur. Well, first of all, we were doing panels, so it was like early in the morning. So where's Arthur at? Come on, Arthur.
He's manning the booth.
Yeah, he's in the back right. So he finally gets the thing, but at first we couldn't because we were doing panels that morning. So there was no way we were going to be able to run it. But Dan and I were looking at each other and said, you know what I'm thinking, right? And Dan goes, yep. So when I get back from the panel, Dan's gone doing his thing doing his thing. And then I just went up to Arthur and I said, Arthur, gave him cash. And I said, Arthur, here's the text. Here's the tweet. Get exactly what this says. Whatever is left over is yours. So he got one of those scooter things, those green scooter things out there, and he drove over to. Yep, they had them, and he was using them earlier. And I got to think, one of the things I want to think. I don't know if I have the picture of it. Let me see here, or it may not have come out at the time. But where the Daleks are at, right behind Dalek Hal. I got to thank those two because Alex and Arthur, they went out of their way, and this surprised me.
Oh,
they went out of their way. They bought a cooler, they bought ice, and they bought water, and they were just giving it away. They weren't selling it or anything. I couldn't sell it anyway, but they just giving it away, and people were just so thankful. People were walking up to us. People were handing cash and like, no, we're fine. We're fine. Yep. And if you really want to support us, there's some scan codes on the table. Hit us up. Otherwise, enjoy the water. And people
like and subscribe.
Exactly. But people were so grateful. So I got to give those two a big kudos for coming up with thinking that. I'm just like, did you guys buy that cooler? And they're like, yeah. Okay. So I didn't ask you to do any of this. And it's just like, cool. But everybody was very grateful.
As a vendor or exhibitor, you should be able to bring in your own food. Sometimes it's hard to come in if you're coming in through the front where you're normally all the guests are. Sometimes security will stop you and you have to plead your case and say, look, I'm a vendor. I bring my own food, blah, blah, blah. But typically if you get there early when you're setting up, you can bring your own cooler and water. And I could see where people are extremely grateful for those little snacks and stuff like that if you give it to them, because conventions are expensive, but especially you're at an outdoor show. And if you see somebody dying, I mean, that's, part of your own humanity where you're like, here, let me get you some water, because otherwise you'll be next in line for the ambulance.
Yeah. And there were a couple times I saw the ambulance take off. So, but people were just so immensely grateful that we did that. And I'm immensely grateful that they took the time to do that with their own money. I'm just like, guys, you didn't have to do that at all. They were just having a great time. They were completely going nuts out there, and they were very supportive about our show. When they were behind the scenes, they were pushing our show. So I'm like, yep, I'm glad they're a part of this team. But sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just quick comment from Erie, Florida, and the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS own Mark Muncy, Mr. Discovery Channel man himself. He says, loving seeing you all on all the vlogs like Tampa J and Chris the Girl.
And then there they are. They actually came by. If you're familiar with YouTube in the local area, this is Tampa J and Chris the Girl. I've been following them, and just recently, Tampa J just recently proposed to Chris the Girl, and it was nice to see that on the YouTube channel. So they are fiancés now, and it's kind of funny when you kind of have this relationship with somebody on YouTube, and it's like I don't know them, but I just follow them, and then usually occasionally put I'm working on it, Tom. The Eccleston story. Exactly, and.
We're still not done with the Starbucks story.
We're still not done with the Starbucks story, but I wanted to bring in, since he mentioned these two. I don't want to say I kind of admire them. I watch them on their YouTube channel. I'll chat in every time, and I think, for most part, Tampa J. Yes, thank you. Tampa J. He goes out and he goes into like areas where it's haunted and such like that, and he has a big crowd. But just to finally say hello to him, he walked by and I didn't recognize him at first, and then he saw the TARDIS and it's just like, yeah, I follow you and all that. So it's nice to see somebody who you want to appreciate know that they finally appreciate. Diabetics have to carry snacks and water sometimes.
Yep.
Arenas are crazy, and I'm like, yeah, why not? Why
Nope, absolutely have to.
I don't know why they take the food away, but getting back to that cup. So
the cup. So you handed somebody a tweet, Arthur, a tweet and some cash, and went, "Go forth to Starbucks."
Go forth to Starbucks, and he came back with this. It was a little messy. I couldn't blame him because he's on a scooter, but he brought it back. And surely enough, it was at the time where Colin and Nicola were already about to leave. And unfortunately, I don't have the picture. I thought they were going to post it on Twitter. At least one of the handlers was showing me they took a picture of Dan opening up the Dalek and handing Colin the cup. But without further ado, there they are. He doesn't have the coffee with him. But yeah, that's the picture we got because Dalek Hal became Uber Services. So now we are having a running joke, Melanie, that if anybody needs Uber foods at an attraction, and if we see something like that ever pop up on a tweet, Hal is going to bring the food over.
Hal needs that Starbucks kind of style apron with the logo that looks like a Dalek that says exterminate instead of not exterminate, it says caffeinate.
Yeah.
And that way that can be the thing now. His shtick is that he just opens up and like, here's your order.
I know you got to run, Mike, so let me go ahead and put this final picture up of you and your wonderful team for helping us with that first panel that we were running late to. Tell us where everybody can find you on Earth Station Who.
Of course, you could find us as part of the ESO network, but you could find us at earthstationwho.com or up on Facebook. We got a great Facebook group for Doctor Who stuff. And of course, as the ESO network, you could also just look up esonetwork.com. We're all across all the social medias. We're everywhere. We're going to take over the world eventually.
Yes.
That's
and
right.
come to MegaCon at some point.
Eventually.
Yeah, you better. This year's perfect.
This year, maybe could be possibly.
Shows up.
I pop up like all bad pennies, so it's even better.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. We'll see you soon. Peace.
Nice to meet you. Good to see you.
All. Bye.
I
miss you already. Bye.
So that was a great thing that occurred, and all the other Doctor Who celebrities were lurking on like, what the heck's going on? And I just basically took my phone with Colin's tweet and walked up to everybody, and I said, Nicola, next time we can get you something if you tweet out. I think we were the only one, if I'm not mistaken, James. I think we're the only one who brought Colin anything because I don't think he got anything. I'm pretty sure, and I even checked the tweets. Nobody brought him up anything, or at least nobody acknowledged. So
we have another. Yes, the Eccleston
story. Yeah, it was just somebody very being kind, and that's why I want to Traveling TARDIS with picture. Yeah, well, there goes a spoiler, but I'll go ahead and put it up here. My panel, the panel on Saturday, was in direct conflict with Christopher Eccleston's photo shoot, so I didn't bother again. And next thing I know, as I'm about to go to the panel, Dan grabs the Traveling TARDIS and jumps into Hal and disappears. So he's heading up. So I'm assuming he's getting his picture with Dalek Hal and Christopher Eccleston. Lo and behold, he fails to tell me he also got a picture of it with the Traveling TARDIS by itself.
Such a great photo.
So Dan, if you're listening, if you're out there, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That was a very, very... I wasn't even expecting this to happen at all. I was going like, he'll be at another convention or something like that. But when Dan grabbed the Traveling TARDIS, I thought he was going to put Hal and the TARDIS and Eccleston in the same picture together. But no, he got a separate picture just for me. And Hal, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And that is a gorgeous picture of. I just wish I was a fly on the wall, going like, what did he think? Because I always tell the story about Capaldi. Like, he didn't know.
Because this is very Capaldi-esque on how it's magnificent.
So I wasn't expecting this at all. So thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate it. I'm wonderful to have you on the team, and I appreciate every team member that we have on the podcast in our convention areas, whoever helps out, and because things like this really, really just make me geek. And speaking of geeking out, James, I know you've been chomping at the bit, so there you go.
Yes.
I was very pleased with how that came out, especially the look on Sylvester's face. Again, nobody mugs for the camera like he does.
all of them, and you, and it's bloody brilliant.
All I said was, can you guys make it look like you're strangling me with the scarf? And immediately Peter says, yeah, we can do that, and grabs
Yeah, we can do that.
But yeah, there was the look on their faces is great. I love the way the picture came out. Luckily, I didn't look too goofy. I tried to be goofy, but not like unintentionally goofy. But yeah, right. I was thrilled with the picture.
Oh, honestly, it's an amazing, amazing photo. Oh, that's just so cool. I'm like looking at everyone's face and then just how everybody's just interacting, and yeah.
And that's Paul. Paul gets into everything he does.
Yes.
Whenever he's doing something, everybody's seen the picture with him fighting Eric Roberts with the TARDIS, and he was all into it. He was just laughing and stuff. He goes really deep into it. Speaking of deep, Melanie, this is for you, John Barrowman.
That's so awesome.
And signed at the top up there.
Bo.
That's really neat.
This is
because I only knew of one person who ever made one of those, and I would see that back in Time Lord Fest Tampa and at Jacksonville days. I don't even know if I've ever saw it in Jacksonville.
I would see something, but nothing on a scale like this.
It was as tall as I am. It was a good size.
Really? Oh yeah, no, the one I saw was big, but not that big.
It's probably about almost 6 foot tall, and I'd say, 4 feet wide.
Wow. No, the one I would say, the one that I remember seeing at Time Lord Fest would be maybe a little bit bigger than, not 6 foot tall. I would say maybe as big as a washing machine, or maybe a little bit taller than that. Trying to think. Yeah, not refrigerator big, but I'm trying to kind of think. But yeah, around 4.5 feet to 5 ish.
Could you imagine the face of Bo washing your laundry?
But that kind of mass, this being 6 feet tall, that's insane. Was somebody in it?
No. They brought it there.
Okay.
But somebody was definitely in this, which is one of my favorite pictures.
Yeah, that's great.
Davros. All working Davros. That's somebody in there moving about.
Yeah.
And controlling it.
Davros, that's amazing.
And if you put I did the same sort of with Corey Williams with a slush puppy, Slurpees at LFCC. Gave him such a sugar rub. So nice. And speaking of which, Davros is never alone without Daleks right behind him. So there's Ren and Hal in full force.
And I got to say, again, another shout out to Dan. If you follow Janet Fielding on Twitter, she put a post of the video. She actually got into Dalek Ren and was driving it around and moving it towards Peter Davison. And so if you go to, I think it's JF Mouth on Legs is her Twitter handle.
Yes.
But if you go there, she's got the videos. It's hilarious. She loved it. She was having the time of her life.
I will look that up there. And it's actually Dalek Hal. But speaking of Janet.
Oh, Hal.
No, that's fine. Speaking of Janet, there you go. There's Janet and her. She put her hand in it. It was just like, I don't know. It just had this really goofy look, and I love it.
Hold on. I think I found it.
Cool. I'll take this down whenever you're ready.
Yeah, give me a second. It's oh goodness, give me a second because now it's trying to say sign into this and do this.
I told Sophie, Sophie, she's never had the picture. She has a picture with the Traveling TARDIS, but not alone. So there you go.
I need to apologize to Sophie Aldred too, because I know it's Sophie Aldred. I got to interview her on site while I was there, and I'm too much in my own head when I'm doing interviews. Are there people behind me in line waiting? Do I need to cut this short? What is that guy over there looking at me like that for? Am I asking the right question? I realized after I listened to the interview back, I kept calling her Sophie Allred with no D.
Oh, God.
I felt like a dope. So, Sophie, just in case you're listening, I know it's Aldred, and I'm terribly sorry. I blame it on con brain. Sorry.
Oh, no.
I had the same thing.
Very embarrassed.
One of my very first interviews was Peter Davison, and I said I put the D between the two, and it was Davidson. So he did not let up when I got his name. It's Davidson. It's Davidson. It's Davidson. So yeah, I had con brain, and I'll take this down. There we go.
kind of, let me see if I can make it bigger.
Oh my God, that is.
Here we go.
I'm definitely sharing that on the Traveling TARDIS.
There's Dan. It was 4.5 years.
You know, this is a big Spanish story in waiting.
Let's stand here because her stuff is here and I don't want somebody to
Oh boy. This is dangerous.
This is amazing. That's amazing.
I didn't get to see that up there. I think he was upstairs when we were at one of our panels or something like that. So I was just like, but all around a good time. It was. I love Sophie. She is awesome.
She is amazing.
All red.
Oh, stop! you stop that, and Mark, I hope you're feeling better with your back. That you're getting all sorted.
So, oh yeah, Candyman.
Our Candyman's having a bad back.
Not to go all John Sim master, but I'm hearing a drumming. Is that just me?
Not me. Yeah, there was like a bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that was me.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
There's like a sewing machine leg.
Yes, there it is. Okay.
Yes, yep.
That was me. Sorry, my chair is up against my desk. There we go.
I thought I was hearing the drums of war.
The heartbeat. Oh, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry.
So we want to especially thank Julio Diaz and all the team over at Pensacon. It was one for the books. Some of the most incredible things that I've ever had at the convention happen there. Just from somebody driving in with Davros and the doll, and just I forgot the name, and I know Dan knows the person's name, but he drove Davros, and he would intentionally park him in front of Ren and Hal so that they would be together while they were getting photo ops. It was incredible. I like the fact that we were right next to the food trucks. It's just like, what do you want? And it was hectic. What's that? Sorry.
No, I love the location. The food trucks were like, oh, so good.
Yeah, so we had bathrooms that way, food trucks that way. If we had to do anything, everything was in distance of what we were doing. I'm hoping next year that they probably come up with more tents to cover the area so they get the vendors outside and stretch things out there and people aren't getting dehydrated as easily. But I did put our hat back in for Pensacon 2024. They've already announced, I think BG Edgley is going to be, and I know they haven't already put a few announcements in. I learned a lot of things along the way, Melanie. Some good, some bad.
Oh,
and, well, one of the things was a miscommunication error. Because you knew, I got off work and then I drove up to.
Yeah, you were going to do like a half day on
I was going to do
Thursday.
a half day. Yeah, because they said they were opening at 1. So I'm thinking, I probably could just stroll in around 9 or 10. They go, no, we need your tent set up by 8. You need to be here by 6. I'm like, oh my God. So I left Tallahassee at 2 in the morning.
I said, because you still stopped at Tallahassee?
I stopped at Tallahassee. Well, I basically took a nap. As soon as I got to the hotel, took a nap, but for 2 o'clock, took a shower, got in the car, and I'm driving through Bambi country. It's all dark. Just going up there. And one of the things I regretted, James, and then we could talk about the restaurant too, because it was really good.
It was good.
One of the things I regretted, and I also, as I was leaving, because I stayed up there one more night, I went ahead and stayed Monday night and said, I'm not going to try, do the panel, do all those panels and drive home. And I'm glad I did. So I stayed at a really cheap hotel. But one of the things I never got to see, Melanie, that I totally regret, Pensacola. It was dark every time we saw it, and the only time we saw daylight was on the asphalt of a parking lot.
Yeah.
That we never got to see anything else. And as soon as I went outside, I'm like, damn, I didn't even get to see any of this.
Yeah, Pensacon, I would say the Poseidon's Bay opened, if I remember correctly, opened an hour before the show and then closed an hour after because they needed to still move everybody out, and then there was gated and all that other kind of fun stuff.
Well, they closed on time. The one of the hardest things is that we had James and I had a panel, and it was, I think, on Saturday was the last panel of the day, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so you had to book back.
So we had to book
it back
as they're closing Poseidon's Bay. So I'm like, Dan, guys, just stay where you're at.
Yeah.
Make sure we can get in because I got some stuff over there that I want to make sure that I get out of there.
Well, it should be fun since you had your exhibitor pass and say, look, I'm here.
At first it was, and it was just like, it took a while. But we walked up, they said, well, we're closing. I'm like, no. We work here. We just got to get our stuff out of here. So that we can take it back to the room and recharge the batteries or that.
Right.
And like, I don't want to leave expensive stuff in there. And I think that was my.
But it was gated, right?
Oh yeah, it was gated.
Okay, but then you could even put your panels on your tent sides to help protect it.
Yeah, exactly. So.
We'll say the staff was very accommodating. Security was very happy to help where they could. So the staff absolutely fantastic. So kudos, shout out to them for that.
And in fact, at one point, I asked the trolley people. I went over to the security guard with the trolley people because it was the last panel. It was the Big Finish panel, and the trolleys that they had. Remember the St. Augustine, and I'm sure they got them in Tampa, the Ghost and Gravestones trolleys.
They don't have them here in Tampa, but I do know what you're talking about. The old town kind of green roofed, orange side, open kind of trolley.
The wooden trolleys, the ones that are painted black. These trolleys are meant for the Ghost and Gravestone tours.
If you've been to St. Augustine, they have
those were the ones that they were using to ship us back and forth on the trolley route. And I'm like, okay, but as Mike was saying earlier, we were losing our hearing because they were blasting. When I mean blasting, I mean blasting 80s music and geek music the whole trip wherever we were going. And I asked one of the trolley people, I was like, guys, I'm bringing stuff this time. I'm going to be bringing a speaker. And at some point, you're either standing up at the trolley, you're sitting down. And I was worried that I might be standing up. And I said, I don't want to hold the speaker and this fall on somebody. And I got like CDs over on this side. So I said, is there any way that you could possibly get me over there without the trolley? And surely enough, they were kind to send their mechanic. They sent the mechanic over, and the mechanic picked us up and took us up and back from the church area because I was hauling stuff this time around. I said, I don't trust all this equipment just banging around on a trolley, and then but they were kind of, so the mechanic got involved and he drove us there. It was so
very kind.
That was very kind.
But most conventions would have just looked at you and went, get on the trolley.
Right.
Uber.
But that's what I was saying
you need
for James.
special accommodation. Uber.
Right. But that's what I was saying about James. They said these folks were very accommodating. They understood, some of the things that we were going through, that they were able to help out. I just thought it was funny. And the guy was like, I hope you don't mind the mess. I'm like, dude, I don't care. Just give me to the church on time, please. Literally. And so that we're, and so I'm not, busting up a box that's rolling around on a trolley.
Right.
So that was cool. What was that last comment? I didn't see that. I'm sorry, Melanie.
No, it was just hey. It was hey, and then hey, do you,
hey.
I think
Doctor WHO
and then hey, like Matt Smith.
Yep.
Of course. He's a doctor.
Yeah. So, this was really a fun time. I would like to go back. I would love to take the team this time, and knowing the knowledge of what we've learned this time around, I can safely say now I know what to do, what to take, how many days I need off to this time around, and make sure that the team is able to carry out what they need to do. And so because it was just a lot of stretch and trying to watch a budget. And give myself enough time because I have sleep apnea, and I just want to make sure I'm getting enough sleep up there. Even now, but jet lag now.
Yeah, because it was an hour behind as well.
Yep, I traveled. That was another thing. I thought I was getting there too early. I thought it was an hour. I thought it was an hour late getting up there. I was an hour early.
Yeah,
I forgot the hour flips back one, so I'm arriving like
Yeah.
earlier.
Going there, it works in your favor.
Right.
Coming back,
I'm in Central Time, so I kept looking at my phone. Why isn't my phone updating the time? And then someone told me, well, this part of Florida is Central. I was like, oh, I did not know that until this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't realize that part that far over was, but yet Ohio's still in Eastern, I think.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Which just throws my brain off. I'm like, how is that? I don't know.
They gerrymander these time zones. I tell you, it's awful.
I swear to God, I swear that's what it is. Like, you know what? No, we're gonna make. No, we are now this.
It goes. The time goes here and
here.
Can somebody take a fishing line and pull the panhandle back into Eastern State?
All I can think is, how do sundials work over there? I'm like, oh yeah, just take the wooden block and just move it this way. I'm like, okay, boop, there we go. Now it's fine. Oh, daylight savings. Now we're good. Which kids, depending if you're watching this live or not, daylight savings is coming up in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're going to lose an hour of sleep.
Change your smoke detector batteries.
Could you imagine some couple guys walking with a sundial? They're walking across Florida, and all of a sudden the sun just takes an hour off. I'm like, did you do that?
Now, do you want to end the show now and then go after party? Because we're now at an hour 13.
I think we're kind of really in the after party. So
okay, I don't know if you wanted to end it for the podcast.
We'll end it for the podcast for now. So everybody who's been listening, thank you so much. Let me go ahead and do the little plugins. James, if you want to give a quick shout out about your plugins of where people who are listening to our show on sci-fi.radio and iHeartRadio, where can they find you?
Yep. We do a live radio show every Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central for those of you in the panhandle of Florida, evidently. Mm-hmm. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Geek to Me Radio. We've got some great people subscribed to my YouTube channel while we were there in Pensacola. So hello to all of you and thank you very much for subscribing. Trying to push to 1,000 by April, 1,000 subscribers by my birthday. So if you could go to youtube.com, find Geek to Me Radio and subscribe there, I'd appreciate it as well. And we've got a brand new live show coming up this coming Sunday.
And the fact that I got Mr. Roboto in my head every time I listen to it.
You're welcome. It's a great song.
Yeah, it is a good theme song. So for those of you who are still watching, we're going to go into our after party. But for our friends on audio, we want to say goodbye. But real quick, please make sure that if you want to continue listening to the conversation, youtube.com/Legend of Traveling TARDIS. Go on our Facebook page. We are really closing in on that 67,000 followers. We were hoping to hit it by today. We're short by 200. Not bad, actually. Like, share, comment. We're on TikTok. And, of course, if you're listening, you can also listen to other us on audio and on Odyssey, on Spotify, Spreaker, Podbean, Player FM, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. We are going to go, for those of you still watching, we're still continue our show. And then we have a little bit more to discuss. But everybody who's listening to the podcast, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you and all your support. Thank you for joining us. We will be right back. Sounds like a blast. So jealous you were there. It's a convention, and I'm not downing it by any means of the imagination. There are pros and cons to the convention.
Each convention has its nuances. Every convention has its nuances. So it's neat to know so this is going to be like this. And okay, I have to better prepare for this, and this next time.
Okay.
James, even MegaCon every year. It's like when MegaCon goes on, at least talking as an exhibitor, it's always are we in north, south, or are we in west? Because I need to know which loading dock we're doing. Because layout wise, I like north, south better. Mm-hmm. Loading in that dock, I like the west one better. So it's the same convention, but depending on which convention center that they use at the Orange County Convention Center, because it's 2 massive buildings, it's different. So Pensacon's that same thing. It's first time you get there, all right, let's see what the digs are, let's see what the surrounding is, and every year's going to get better, everything's going to change. So roll with the punches and try to plan as best as you can and be okay with if you gotta call an audible.
James, you said you gotta take care of doggy.
Yeah, my dog Acer during the break? He now wants to go outside. You want me to pause and come back, or you? Okay, I will pause and I'll be back.
Yeah, whichever.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I'll be here.
We put balls and back. There we go.
Okay, doesn't say that, or I can even
stare.
put them down.
No,
Dan
fine.
came here with a funny joke.
Okay. I'm good for funny
Try to
jokes.
click on it. You should see them reset Stonehenge for daylight.
Nice. That was the most scariest drive I've been on a long time because I was on there for 3 hours. There's no lights.
I'll say it's a dark stretch.
Dark stretch. I'm waiting for Bambi to go, hi, how you doing?
Hello, deer accidents.
Talking about the next weekend, daylight savings time will different from the U.S. and the rest of the world. We change at the end of the month unless you're Arizona. Yeah, you got a week later
12.
after this, right?
I want to say
Like it's just like a week off. So
it's like it is a week. I want to say it's a week, but yeah, by April it's good. Let me see. I want to say it's 12th is daylight. Yep, 12th is daylight savings day.
Okay.
So the weekend of the 11th and 12th, we lose an hour.
I want like where does it go? It sucks.
Like I want that hour. I'm rary and happy for extra light. I want that light. I like the light at night so I can work on stuff, especially since I need it for my cosplay going crazy.
And that seems to be the folly of just like conventions and stuff because there are times I wish, like even MegaCon. It's just like Moshi keeps asking me to come to those after parties. I'm just like, Moshi, I'm about to turn 50. I'm beyond after parties.
I don't have enough cold brew in me.
Exactly. And not only that, well, I'm just I can't stay awake. I'm just like, I'm done.
I'm old. You're
not old.
I have now gotten to the point where I want to be asleep by 8:30 and then awake by 8:30.
I came home.
Can I keep sleeping?
Chrissy was like, did you just want to go to bed? And I'm like, yeah. And I went straight to bed. I was out, I think, 10 hours. I went to work yesterday and I could have slept the whole day. I hate that.
I like to think I'm catching up I'm catching up on all of the sleep I lost in my youth. I want it now, please.
I'm definitely catching up on the sleep
Which
all
is fine.
the weekend because I was completely out when I got home. Stuff was still in the car. I didn't care. I was just like, leave it or whatever. So been living out of the suitcase type deal. So I'll just.
And you forgot MegaCon coming up.
I didn't forget.
MegaCon's coming up.
I know. Well, let me go ahead and bring up the site then.
MegaCon, everybody. Who's going to MegaCon? And then that's March 30th through April 2nd. I think so. I think it's 30th.
March 30th, April 2nd. Yeah, you're right.
Yep, so it's 4 days of convention goodness in Orlando, Florida. If you have not purchased tickets yet and you would like to still purchase them in advance, please go to I have a link to purchase tickets. So I get a little something if you use that link. So please, if you haven't purchased tickets, help out an artist, but still try to purchase them early. It is what it is. So yes, the show hours are from 4 to 9 on Thursday, which is the long day for exhibitors. So if you feel like bringing coffee, please do, because we got to load in that day. Friday is from 10 to 7, so not as late at night, which is nice, but not as early either. Saturday is another 10 to 7 day, and it's always the busiest. And then finally, Sunday is from 10 to 5. Please remember that last year with MegaCon, it was so incredibly busy that parking ran out on Saturday.
Yes.
And people were parking far away. When I say people, I mean all of the peoples. So vendors, exhibitors, attendees, people decked out in their cosplay finery, were parking miles away. And if they could get to a trolley, great. A lot of them were finding dirt lots and parking and walking happily in the Florida sun. Now, thankfully, that was in May. They moved it back up to March because this is a con that kind of keeps moving around. I wish it was in May again because it will be right before Star Wars Celebration, which is in London. So that's why, as you kind of see some of these photos here that Christian's pulling up, some of the people that are kind of on their way to go to London for Star Wars Celebration well, you're going to be near Florida anyway.
Mhm.
Why not stop off in MegaCon and see all of us?
Yeah.
Give some of the Floridians some love. So I think that's why you see Hayden Christensen coming. You see Gwendolyn Christie. She's going to be at Celebration. You're going to see, like I said, like a lot of Star Wars people. Rosario Dawson. A lot of Mandalorian people, which I haven't seen yet, so no spoilers yet. But my Lord, John Cleese.
John Cleese.
John Cleese. I am so bloody excited for John Cleese. Because I think he canceled the last time, I think.
He did. He canceled out the last time. I don't know if it was COVID or whatnot, but yeah, he did cancel out the last time. I'm really hoping Eccleston will come too.
I would love to see if Eccleston will come. I'm not sure if he will. They said that they're still going to be doing some more, so I'm hopeful. Charlie Cox was just added, so now you have Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. So now, and they've both been taken and pulled into the official MCU. So it's no longer just Marvel Netflix. It's they're back and they're going to be at MegaCon. And another thing that's going to be absolutely brilliant. Another one that he had just scrolled around that's going to be a question mark. Chevy Chase is going to be there.
Oh, got him up.
And that's going to be one where it's kind of, how's he like with fans? I don't know. Because we know the stories of how he's like on set, or at least with Dan Harmon and the community people. Is he going to, are there going to be stories? Is people going to have like their own? To me, it's like Gary Busey. Like whenever you went to a convention, you worked at a convention with Gary Busey, everyone had a story. I have like 14 by proxy in my own Gary Busey stories. So I'm just like, is Chevy Chase going to be the same way?
But it's normally like
they're not bad, but they're not
Gary
good
Busey stories. It's not like, did you know what Gary Busey did to me? It's usually, do you know what Gary Busey did? As opposed to, because he's usually just a firecracker out there.
Exactly. They're not bad, but they're not good. I mean, like at one point we were all out doing an after party thing and we were all hanging out at the pool and just hanging out, having a great time and all that kind of stuff. And then the next day we're walking through the hallway and he looks at dead to rights at one of my friends. He just stops, looks at him like he's recognized him and went, I don't like you and what you stand for. And then turns and walks away. And we were like, what just happened?
Okay.
I mean, that was, like I said, they're not bad, but they're not good either. They're just Busey. So yeah. So maybe we'll have Chevy ones.
Steve Burns of Blue's Clues, Sam Raimi. Well, that's all you have to say is Sam Raimi, Christina Ricci, Zachary Levi. I'll get her name wrong. Sequina Martin Green. Sonequa Martin Green from Star Trek Discovery. Of course, we got the bad boys and girls from Cobra Kai, Henry Winkler, Katie Sackhoff. Ow, dang. Sorry, I got my headset caught. Mercedes Varnado. Also included repeats that we had. Ashley Eckstein.
for people who know wrestling.
Matthew Lillard, he was over at Pensacon, so now he's going to be.
So was Steve Ulrich.
Yep. But we've got a bigger team going for the Scream crowd. Sons of Anarchy. We got Little Leia.
Yep. Again, that Star Wars Celebration kind of people are kind of making their way over to London. We have Giancarlo Esposito. We have Vivian Lyra Blair. So it's still more people coming over.
And Beck Basinger, I haven't seen her show, but I feel bad that I think Stargirl was canceled, right?
They stopped. I think they kind of saw the writing on the wall with what was going on at the CW. And they ended it on like the story wrapped up really well. It was 3 really good seasons. And it was one of my favorite CW shows. Honestly, it was so good.
Who does Emily Swallow play in The Mandalorian?
She is the armorer.
She's the armorer.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. I did not know that. And we have Saved by the Bell. And confessingly, we don't have anything Doctor Who yet. I am hearing rumors. I'm definitely hearing rumors. Hey, Mr. Bachman, Joe Bachman, welcome there. Thank you. Thank you all again for subscribing and joining up on our YouTube channel. I'm getting a lot more folks subscribing. Hey, we're almost up to 3,000. I want to appreciate that. UK 26 March Daylight Saving Time. Okay.
Got
it.
You got John Cleese at MegaCon, and he was in City of Death. So,
yep.
Kind of
So far, that's the only person I don't want to say if I had unlimited money, I'd get everybody, but we're John Cleese, of course.
Right.
I would get John Cleese.
Happy birthday, Dan. Just quickly yelling, "Happy birthday, Dan!" He's saying he's 65, and my Saturday night show starts at on Saturday morning. I thought he said happy birthday. I'm sorry. I thought he said we were talking birthday. Sorry.
No, that's
my brain's not working.
No, it's fine. Dan Hollyfield, The Last Man Standing on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to check him out. If you've ever had the experience of Dan Hollyfield, it's kind of like being in the room in the after party. It's like the 10 people who survived that moment at the after party are sitting around and they're just talking, and they're really it's really cool to watch those guys talk. Connecticon's coming up. Okay.
Yeah. I did spend the money for Hayden to have an autograph. I couldn't not do that.
I'm waiting to see.
I'm
not trying to down MegaCon, but where are we, Doctor Who wise?
I was gonna
please.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's still amazing. For those that are insane like me and are doing Star Wars Celebration and happen to be doing MegaCon or live in Orlando and you're like, I'm gonna skip MegaCon because I'm gonna be going across the pond. If you were thinking about doing a photo op or an autograph, they run about half off here because Hayden's is twice the amount, is $225 over there, and here it's
Jesus.
Yeah, because it's like 200 pounds. Then on top of it, or 150, it's with the exchange rate and the fact that it's Celebration, it's like half. It's half off here. So if you're on that kind of fence, where I was kind of, I'm gonna go to Star Wars and I'm gonna do this, and I was like, with the prices and some stuff, but then the actors are starting to do them here. Try to.
Well, that's actually
$bucks, come here.
Tell you the truth, that's not bad. Photo op 100 for John.
For John, that's not bad.
That's not bad
it's
at
a living
all.
Legend. How much is the autograph? 80.
80.
Ooh.
So 80 for an autograph, 100 for his photo. And is there anybody else you want me to hit up? Oh, Chevy, of course, Chevy.
Yeah, do Chevy. I want Chevy's story.
120 photo at the table. God.
Oh.
Photo op, if you want a decent photo, 150. So you say
but at least the one at the table, you're not going to be told next. Well, you usually don't.
Right.
You typically aren't being told next.
I would love to meet Vincent D'Onofrio.
That would be amazing.
See, Vincent is.
He was terrifying in Daredevil.
70.
He really was. Oh, when he just flicked that switch when he became just. Brutal. Oh, he's only 80.
That's not bad.
Oh, I need to get a third job. Oh goodness.
And who else are we looking at?
I know. Now we're just all
I would do it. Sam Raimi. I would do it. 75. Oh,
that's not bad. Even.
Even. Who
that's
else are we
amazing.
missing?
That's really good pricing.
Who else do we want to hit? I don't know. I need
Carl
to
Weathers.
see some.
Did I see Carl Weathers?
Yep, he's there.
Carl Weathers.
Unless you want him, he has a price for an autograph, but then if you want him to sign anything merchandised, it's like $250 for an autograph, like on a Funko Pop or on a Rocky figure.
Yeah.
My Star Wars Grief Karga figure, I was gonna have him sign, and it's at $100 for an autograph. And they said that'll be $250. I'm like, it says on the sign $100. He said no, if he's signing merchandise, it's $250. I was like, all right, thanks anyway.
Yeah, because I just see that the artist charges $300.
$300, so he's gone up $50 since. Yikes!
Yeah, because he's been doing crazy amount of great stuff with Mandalorian and directing it too. Photo op price is $80. Autograph. The autograph is $80, but if it's on something, it's $300.
I couldn't. No point in getting it. I couldn't do it. I'm like, all right, thanks anyway.
No, I would want Sylvester Stallone. I would walk in with Sylvester Stallone and say, autograph that. And I'm taking Sylvester home.
I would want it on a painting.
That's the only way this is going to work.
Yeah, I would want to paint something
girl,
and have him
Ashley
autograph
Eckstein
it.
of her universe. Katie. I would love to see Katie. She's come back every now and then. I'm kind of like him. People tell me he's a
Okay.
softie. He is nothing compared to what he pulls out on TV. He's really a softie. But I've never seen him.
Click Henry Winkler. So I'm noticing he's going to a lot more cons lately. He's kind of doing the circuit.
The nicest, I'd say top 5 nicest celebrities I've ever met. Yeah. He's just a genuinely warm human being.
And and the funny thing is that they keep showing him, you know, because he's the Fonz. But honestly, if you have a chance, if you haven't seen Barry,
oh yes,
watch Barry. He is phenomenal in Barry.
In Arrested Development, he was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
just
to this day, I still go hot ding dong, hot ding dong. No, okay, I'll go. I loved him in Arrested Development. But no, in Barry, it's. Oh, I love how it's funny, but then gets really dark, and then it's that dark black comedy. It's just
they're bringing it back for another season. I don't see how that's going to happen with the way things left off.
I don't know either.
I don't get what they're going to do.
And if you think there's been cliffhangers where they've ended other seasons, where I'm like, how the heck do you get back from this? And they masterfully write something brilliant, and I'm like, okay, let's see what happens here. But yeah, this is. If you can watch him in Barry, because I mean, Winkler just masterclass in acting.
Gotten 2 Golden Globes for that role, if I'm not mistaken, as Gene Cousineau.
I think so. I think it is 2 because I know he definitely got the one for Cousineau. Yeah, I think it's 2 now.
Yeah.
I think oh good Lord, my brain just stopped. The lead actor.
Bill Hader?
Yes, he won, right?
I believe so. I think so, yeah. Either for writing or for acting for Barry. I can't remember which, but yeah.
But yeah, if you can.
Oh, lovely.
Barry.
And there's a good story about Henry in this, because there was something wrong with, I guess, the till or the volunteers, the girls were running the till, and something happened. And he was sitting there for like 2 or 3 minutes, and he just got up out of his chair and he started walking up towards us. And he shook everybody. Oops, sorry. He shook everybody's hand in line. And he started just geeking out and started talking. And I think TARDIS Spider, yes. I am so sorry. TARDIS Spider, hello from the Gulf Coast, better late than never. TARDIS Spider, I am so sorry. I didn't get to see. I'm so sorry that things again. TARDIS Spider, check him out on his YouTube channel. We were supposed to meet up, and things just did not happen the way they planned. And he was going to TARDIS, if you want to do like an online interview, I'll be more than happy to, dude. I am so sorry that things didn't pan out the way they did. I wanted to get your picture too, and then I was never at the booth for like more than maybe a good half hour. And then
will they be at MegaCon?
If you come to MegaCon, I'll make sure I get your picture of the TARDIS if you just happen to be coming out there. But thank you for trying to come out. And it just I think he was a Saturday only, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
but yeah, it was. Yeah, I just felt bad that I wasn't able to come out, and then all of a sudden it's like, dude. Then I saw his name on YouTube, and I think he put out a video, and just like, if I'm not mistaken, TARDIS Spider, you actually recorded a segment with the Traveling TARDIS booth, and I wasn't around. So if I'm not mistaken, I think that was it. I've seen people who have come. If I go on YouTube, I'll just look at Pensacon and people who were doing interviews, like not like news stations, but people who were doing their own thing. Like, we tried. We definitely did try. Either Dalek Hal or the booth and Dalek Hal showed up in somebody's video somewhere along the way. So I was very happy to see that, and I'm trying to catch all those videos and trying to see if I can put them together on our TLTT extras, so that people want to see how things panned out over there.
I went through Instagram and did a search for hashtag Pensacon 2023. A lot of pictures of Dalek Hall in the background, or just people taking pictures of it. So,
oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, Dalek Hal and Ren were the talk of the town at Tampa Bay Comic-Con. That's when they made their first big major, from what I understand, appearance with the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS together. And to this day, I'm still seeing every once in a while at Tampa Bay, Dalek Hal's chasing somebody down or something like that.
Because it ended up working out that you were right there in front of all. It was a neat thing to see when people were waiting in the line to get.
You saw them. They were kind of like right across. I would say, what would you say, like 70 feet away from us was the main entrance.
Yeah.
And they we used footage twice on the booth and had a great time. Thank you, TARDIS Spider. Definitely, if you're coming to MegaCon, we need to hook up. We need to get together there. But it was, people were coming by us, but mostly they were trying to get into the building first, and I understood. So,
well, it's like Disney, where you're in the queue and, you're going to be waiting in a line. So you want to have some type of things to kind of interact or look at and stuff. So, because you were there, at least that gave a lot of entertainment. And that was like the first photos really being inside the con, to be like, oh, look, you're inside the convention center and can take a photo. And oh, Daleks, or, even if someone didn't know what a Dalek was, like, oh, look, monster pepper pots.
I have to actually take off right now. But thank you very much for having me on, and it was great to finally meet you in person, Christian. Melanie, hopefully I'll meet you in person at some point.
Yes, hopefully soon.
So yes, take care. Having a good night. Thanks again.
You too, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
I guess we can go ahead and take this down. Stop sharing. So it's going to be March 30th through April 2nd. Get your tickets now. Melanie will have her booth out there. We'll have our booth. We're actually going to be joining forces. Dalek Howell is booth beefcake. Nice.
Booth beefcake.
Only when you're traveling across the pond, save space in
No.
a suitcase, or if you prefer, send a box over.
Oh goodness. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I'm. Oh no, I will definitely have plenty of room in my suitcase for other goodies and stuff, and we will definitely have to see one another. Have you already taken a picture of the? Yeah, you've taken a photo with the TARDIS because
He had to. Yeah,
Dave.
I'm 99% sure.
Christian still hasn't come over yet.
Nope.
Do you want the TARDIS to go with me to Star Wars Celebration?
If you want.
Okay, because it's going to be I'm literally leaving Sunday. I am going to be grabbing all of my stuff from my booth. We're going to be breaking down. I'm shoving it in the back of my car. I am leaving there because we break down at 5. Now the show's over at 5 o'clock on MegaCon. Hustle my way to Tampa Bay, unload my car, grab my suitcase, go to the airport, and get on a plane.
Hey, Sophie.
That's my Sunday night.
Hey,
if you
want to do that, I am not stopping you. Go completely insane and mad. We don't have another convention, which I have yet to announce, but I can safely say we should be going in the beginning of June. You know which one that is. Alabama.
Casterbarus?
Yes.
Okay, Conquistadors. And I believe Li Who is in August.
If anybody is looking for a birthday present, that actually falls on my birthday. On the dates of my birthday, the 20th will be one of the dates. So if anybody wants
August?
to...
19 and 20.
20.
Yeah, you fly in an islip.
We shall see. I'm just right now. Pensacon broke me, so that's why I'm happy about MegaCon, because it's right next door, so I don't have to worry about it. Dave's going to be with us.
I have family up there. I can find out if I can. I don't know if you can really sleep on a couch, but if I'm already on the couch, so you can't couch surf if I've already claimed to the couch.
I know Katie's up there, so I'll sleep on the dang floor because I want to get Katie next.
And Melanie comes back from England with 5 tons of curly whirlies. Yes, I will. Curly whirlies are amazing. And so are the fudges. But I can get curly whirly here. I'm trying to think of things I can't get here. Smarties I can't get here. What are the other things I can't get here? Oh, the one thing that I cannot get here in the States that I absolutely love, and it's going to make me sound like a lush, is Strongbow dark fruit. We don't have it here. It's on freaking draft in every pub I've ever been to in London or in the UK, but no Strongbow dark fruit. None here. So I can't say that I'll drink myself silly because I can't.
I wonder if somebody should open a candy store that has foreign candy. Like the whole place is like a Willy Wonka's of foreign candy.
Rocket Fizz. Well, Rocket Fizz has a fair amount. Oh, it's also sodas. There's one in St. Pete. I believe there's one in Orlando. There might be one in Orlando. I know there's one in Cincinnati, oddly enough. Candy-wise, I have a store here that's actually... Well, there's one in Pinellas County, more Tampa, St. Clearwater-y area, and that's called London Pride. And they just opened another location in Tampa. And that is... She just gets everything from overseas, where everything's in the UK. So... UK, everything's from either Wales or England or Scotland, and I can get candy and treats and clotted cream and drinks and all types of staples, and food staples and sweet staples and all those kind of things.
Really?
There we go.
Are you serious? It's in Lakeland? Okay.
There's a Rocket Fizz there.
Okay, I'll check it out next time I'm in that area.
It's not like a huge thing of candy, but you can get a lot of candies.
I would like to try something.
Oh, double deckers. Those are good too.
You ready to call it a night?
Yes, I am, because I have to go bring a car to my mother's house because I'm getting a roof replaced tomorrow.
Oh. So
yeah, welcome to the state of Florida.
Thank you for joining us. Again, MegaCon will be at the end of this month. Everybody will be there. For the Melanie will be there with her booth. I will be there with mine. We are joining forces with the Dalek Builders of Florida, and that's going to be exciting. And also, Red and Hal will be there as well. Hopefully, the third will be there as well. I'm hoping. I'd like a place where I could just get a lifetime supply of Cornish pastries, but that's not yet.
We have a place that makes them and freezes them and ships them throughout the U.S. So 2-in-1, 4-in-1. I can't remember the place, but I can tell you about it. It's in Sarasota, but they do freeze and ship worldwide or nationwide. Anyway, sorry, being quiet.
And we'll make this a final kind of black currant cordials and
black currant anything
equals dark fruits.
Okay, I could try that.
All I'm going to say is, Mark, I hope you're available because there might be somebody confectionery-wise we might be talking to about Doctor Who candy. I'm just saying. TARDIS Spider, thank you for coming to Pensacon. The Doctor Who vibes was fantastic. It was. Thanks for the invite. I wish we could meet up. I'm hoping you can come to MegaCon. We'll definitely do something if you come to MegaCon together. And if you want to do a separate interview, like just off the cuff kind of deal, Amazon
Vimto. I can get the thing. I'm so used to getting Vimto that's fizzy, that's already in the little can. But yeah, I could get the bottle of Vimto, and I could put that inside of a Strongbow. Sorry, they're just speaking to me, Christian. And my sad self.
Candy. I am going to do it. Speaking of which, enjoy your journey through time and space. Love your friends. Love your family. Good night. Okay. Everybody, we're going to call it a night. We will see you next week. You know what? I'm going to do this now. Let's declare it. A lot of you have been a little bit talkative about how we don't have any. When I refer to classic New Who episodes, I'm meaning Rose up until Jodie Whittaker, because we weren't around back then. We started the day before Jodie Whittaker. So,
yes. What
would you like our first new classic Who episode to be the review? We'll do that next week.
Say Rose, say Rose, say Rose.
You know what?
Or 9. It's got to be a 9-1.
We'll go ahead and end it. Keep chatting. And we will see. But next week, we will be doing a classic New Who review. It will be Rose. It will be something. We'll see what you come up with, and we'll decide from there. On behalf of everybody here, thank you for joining us. See you at MegaCon, and take care of yourselves, and always become part of the legend. Don't forget to say goodbye on your way out. Just had a great time. Oh, yeah. Hearts. And where are you? Tony, take us out.